Welcome. In this session of Yojana, we would discuss about art and culture from India, one of the very important topics for your upcoming prelims examination as well. So, first topic that we would discuss is art and digital form. Now, there have been various artistic heritage which have been appreciated with the use of technology. So, technology along with art has gone a long way, and that idea is for bringing in digital enhancement of the existing art and sculptures in India. So art digitization can be worked across various forms, for example, for sculptors, painters, writers, designers, and glass workers. Now the approach is to have a creative endeavor to broaden the accessibility, to broaden the availability, to have more work convenience, boost on productivity. This digitization can be done through multifaceted technologies. For example, using projections in 2 dimension, 3 dimension, virtual reality, augmented reality as some of the aspects. Now, the difference between augmented and virtual reality we have covered in a separate lecture, so you can go back and refer that class separately. Again, a very important topic for this upcoming examination. The next is digital media. Now digital media has been going a long way to promote the existing content digitally and bring in connectivity. So for this, the artistic experiments as well as the non-artistic expressions are required to bring the presence digitally in the given world. The next is the concept of music. Now music is one of the major aspects of Natya Shastra. So you have Gayan, Vadan, and both of these have been a popular section under music, which includes the singing as well as the instrumentation. So lyrics, melody are some of the important aspects. Now if we talk about some of the popular music forms under the Natya Shastra, we have Bhavya Sangeet, Abhang, Bhajan. Then we have Gandharva Theka, Sangeet Natak, Natya Geet, Bhakti Geet, Bhav Geet, Bandish, Sangeet Swayamvar, and then we have the Kabir lyrics. So all these are some of the popular forms of music that have been mentioned. So Gandharva Theka has emerged during the the Sangeet Natak era, and this focuses or moves along with the Natya Sangeet. So Natya Sangeet has the encompassment of all the terms that we have discussed so far. We'll be moving with these as we proceed further. Natya Geet is mainly the combination of rag with the Marathi lyrics, and then we have Sangeet Swayamvar, which is being given by Vishnudas Bhave, and this is mainly in the regions of Sangli. You have other scholars working for the same. Some of the songs is Nahi Main Bolta, and so on. So the list is there. You can go back and have the handouts for the notes, go through these lists, and these are really important. The next is in the films as well. The music has been an important component of Western cinema, and the songs like the songs from Chitralekha, which have been sung by Lata Mangeshkar, are some of the songs which are based on Rag Kamod. So which rag is being used for the major songs is again an important one. The band music in India, it started during 1980s. It became a popular form of music during 1990s, and one of the popular band is Indian Ocean Band. There have been various jam sessions which have been organized. Even the popular musics have been seen with the notable bands like Agni, the Local Train, and so on. Also we have regional popular musics. Now these regional popular musics are usually in the regional languages. Abhang is attributed to bhajans or the saints who are working for those, and therefore Bhakti Sangeet is one of the popular forms of it. The popular music tends to resonate the people more with the regional music or the regional popular music. The next is under the artistic legacy, we have the National Museum. Now National Museum is a custodian of India's heritage. It covers nearly 5,000 years old history, has more than 2 lakh items which have been part of the museum. The restoration of the museum has been done, which includes the preservation of the wall paintings done by Ministry of Defense and maintenance of the paintings by Ministry of Finance. Since the inception in 1950, there has been a conservation laboratory working along with National Museum. for restoration purposes. The next is National Gallery of Modern Art. Now this gallery was established in 1954, aims to bring in the contemporary legacy to the people, and professional restorers have been working to bring this technology and the art and culture to the people. Along with the art, there has been an incursion of artificial intelligence. Nowadays, we are hearing about deepfake technology. So even the artistic sculptures have been modified using the deepfake technology. But going to the other side, how technology can actually bring in development. If we talk about the first urbanization in India, that was during the Harappa civilization, notably around 2600 to 1900 BC. And then there were fields which included technology in the field of agriculture, in the field of metallurgy. Also, we talked about the lost wax technique, where the sculpture was made, the wax was filled, and then the wax was removed, and the same sculpture was made accordingly for creating intrinsic figures. So same technology, in contrast to that, digitally has been moved through the artificial intelligence, and the same forms have been brought along with the ideas. Now even in the Jagannath Puri, we have seen ironwork technique as one of the major techniques. The digital technology with rise, we have seen improvements in graphic designs, animations, interactive media, GIF medias, digital paintings. And during the time of COVID, we have seen exhibitions coming up, theaters coming up, all in the digital form. So digital art, using digital tools and technology, has become an important aspect. In the modern form, if we classify art, there have been various aspects to it. So one of them is the visual art. Now visual art talks about the arts which have been created by artists, and these are compilation of the various cultural and the artistic endeavors of the scholars. Then the second form we talk about, important one, is paintings. Even from the Renaissance period, the Mesolithic period, we have seen cave paintings, we have seen the paintings on the intrinsic with intrinsic designs on the walls, on the cloth, and this has now transformed into the digital forms and art galleries. The next is the form of sculpture, so where we talk about 3D technologies. There has been mapping for the same. Architecture has gone a long way. And then one more important component which we cannot actually visually see in the museums, but that is performing arts. Now under performing arts, we have three important components which talk about dance, music, and cinematography. All of these have been passed from one generation to another, and there have been developments in the same, in a specific format, right? So protection of the artistic endeavors going through their trades, trademarks, their copyrights have been another important aspect. Now Salar Jung Museum is one of the major museums in Hyderabad, and one of the largest privately owned and privately created museums by one of the Nizams, and this has been a very important aspect. Now as we have already talked about the National Gallery of Modern Art, Modern Art in Delhi, we also have some of the important museums. For example, in Mumbai, it is the Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Vastu Sangrahalaya. Then we have the Indian Museum in Kolkata, where we have a vast collection of sculptures and archaeological remains. In Chandigarh, the Government Museum and Art Gallery, which has remains from Indus Valley civilization. Similarly, Jahangir Art Gallery in Mumbai, which has art exhibitions of prominent value. Among these, as I mentioned before, Salar Ganj Museum is one of the very important museums which has been collected as a part of the private collection by Nawab Mir Yusuf Ali Khan, and this was during the time he served as the Prime Minister of Hyderabad during the Nizam rule from 1912 to 1914. And this museum opened its doors within the Diwan Deodi, which is the ancestral palace, and now has been relocated to Daur-ul Sharifa in 1968. Now it has nearly 46,000 artifacts, 69,000 books, and 8,000 manuscripts, and all of these have been part of a single man's collection, and therefore this is one of the largest single man collection globally, and therefore it has worldwide viewers who come to Salarganj Museum to understand the the intricacies and the artifacts being preserved there. Now this has been operated by Ministry of Culture since then. Museums also provide an important base for learning. They have an important reach and visibility, and they provide engagement if they have been working with platforms like social media, Twitter, Instagram. Building in community. Event promotion is another important aspect where museums can play an important role. The next is folk art. Under folk art, we have Bharat Muni's Natya Shastra, which is an important aspect, and the Ras theory. Now, these mainly focuses on the visual art as well as the performing arts. Digitization and reshaping has become an important aspect in this segment as well. Even in the folk art, the preservation of the cultural identity has been really important. The next is the traditional performing arts, the practices of the traditional performing arts, how they can be preserved and promoted to next generation. So Spike Mac is one of the art endeavors which talks about the term alpha domain. That means we are converging the art and soul, and this ultimately represents the true power, and that can be brought only through the performing arts and the aspects of performing arts. So those are some of the aspects that have been covered here. The next is art is again an important component for self-healing and expression. Now, when we talk about music, it is considered as one of the healers. It also helps to bring in self-awareness and have your own point of view. Now, let's say a child is painting. Now, when the child is painting, let's say a child watched a movie and then came in and drew a painting with a dark hues. Now, this is trying to show the child's vision of the movie theater or the cinema that the child visited. After detailed interaction with the child, it was found that this is a scene where the child is struggling with actually able to see the screen because there has been obstructive sitting, and this is what has been depicted. So depiction of children's thought is through the art, and that becomes an important part of expression. As I mentioned, art has been a source of healing. It aids expression, helps to build confidence and gain control. When you are going with finer movements, even in the performing arts or in the visual arts, then you are trying to have more control over the minute details that you are working on. It also provides creative outlets. That means it stimulates creativity, improves motor skill as well as the cognitive skill. Specifically for the people with special needs, art has been one of the boons, and this has been aspect where they can grasp their experiences and work their emotions through the science, through the paintings, right? So those are some of the things that have been covered here. Now the last thing that we would be discussing, which incorporates the changing or the reforming India. Now this talks about few of the segments under which schemes have been released. For example, for poverty, food security through the Garib Kalyan Anna Yojana, Pakka houses under the PM Awas Yojana, then smokeless kitchen under the PM Ujjwala Yojana. For the youth, it is the Mudra scheme, startup scheme, avenues for sports, Khelo India, Paralympics, Olympics, Asian Games. Antodaya Yojana, which talks about the Kisan Samman Nidhi, Kisan credit cards and credit availability for the same. Agricultural infrastructure for women empowerment, it is the Nari Shakti, financial security for daughters with Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana, and then we have Beti Bachao Beti Padhao Jal Jeevan Mission as some of the important components of the recent schemes of the government. So those were some of the highlights that have been covered under Yojana. As we mentioned, art has been a very important component, specifically for your mains GS paper 3. A lot of questions come from the section on art, so prepare this section well. The handouts for the same would be available on exam race in the current affairs. Those would be available, the complete handout would be available for free, so you can just go on to exam race current affairs and download the document. Thanks for joining in case you have any questions or queries, feel free to post those in the comment section. We'll be able to answer those as soon as possible.